I call this meeting to order, June 13th of the City Council. Marcy, would you call the roll, please?
Hay. Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers. Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Just say
There's Steve.
Hey.
Good to see you. Okay, minutes of, in the work session, are those to be approved as one unit?
it's one set of minutes because it's all in one meeting.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the work session?
Second.
Marcy, would you call the minute, the motion's been made, could we call for the vote, please?
Hay.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, well, we have, fourth item on our agenda is an ordinance, bill for establishing procedure to disclose, potential conflicts of interest. It is a state law. Mr. Schlegel, would you please address that?
Yes. This is an ordinance which is establishing a procedure to disclose any potential conflicts of interest or substantial interest any certain municipal official may have. This is in accordance with the provisions of Senate Bill 262, which each political subdivision with an annual operating budget in excess of $1 million must file personal financial interest statements or devise a code of ethics. This is an annual process that we go through. This ordinance establishes a procedure for disclosing of that information of certain officials, employees. Those officials obviously are the mayor, the city council, myself, the deputy city manager, of any private matters that they may have or other interest in any matters that affect the cities and its operation whatsoever. And it's an annual deal that you file. So, staff would recommend council proceed with 2 readings by title only and passage of the attached ordinance, and the ordinance has been posted its required length of time.
Steve, in case you haven't done this yet, it's something that you can do online. It takes probably 5 minutes to do when it comes your way.
I move for the first reading of Bill 2020-31.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion for the first reading, Bill 2021. Do I, any
Second.
objections? Could you take the roll, please?
Briggs.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes. Bill 2020-31, an ordinance of the City of Mexico, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials. I move for the second reading of Bill 2020-31.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for the passage of Bill, for the reading of, and passage of Bill 2020-31. Could you call the roll, please?
Briggs.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes. Bill 2020-31, an ordinance of the City of Mexico, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials. I move for passage of Bill 2020-31.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded for the passage of the bill. All those in favor, would you call the roll, please?
Briggs.
Yes.
Yes.
Williams. Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay, Bill. Next item on our agenda is there's two resolutions. Bill number 2020-32, we've made some amendments to the pools, and Mr. Schlegel, would you please address that?
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing the signing of an amendment to the existing contract with Westport Pools, reference some additional features for the pool and its during its reconstruction. This was, as council reviewed the final draft of the plans at the last council meeting, there was some discussion after that with council members in regards to some of the features they might like to add back, and so we were asked to get those numbers and get that put together for your consideration. And to cover that, I will turn to Chad Shoemaker in regards to that.
Good evening. The City Council approved a contract with Westport Pools at their December 9th, 2019 council meeting for a design-build contract with Westport Pools for $3,500,000. Planned funding was a third cash from the Capital Project Reserve Fund, a third from the Parks Recreation Fund, and the remaining third from the passage of a use tax. Based on input that we received from the council on that final design, to back up real quickly, design and build processes are different than your normal bid process where you go out and you bid a certain thing and then you simply get a price for it. Design build processes are designed to get a starting place and then do public input, which we did, find out what the public wants, and then get as much of it as you can within that dollar figure. Obviously, we're coming back to you because I think the council gave us the input that there was more public want than we had in $3.5 million. So this amendment to the contract would change the contract amount by $178,000, $178,094,000 for a new estimated total of $3,651,766. And specifically, those items that the council requested us add back are the fall surface protection, which you should have some documents laid out up front. This is not exactly what it'll look like, but this is the most current iteration we have of that particular design. And then you can see this is the most current site drawing we have, and it clearly shows that we're back to 6 lanes with the extension of the pad to make that possible. Those are the 2 items that cost represents per the council's request. To make the contract an easily workable number and to have an $8,000 and some odd dollar contingency in case there's some small thing, so we don't have to come back and amend the contract further, Bruce asked us to bring forward an amendment to increase the not to exceed amount in the contract from $3,500,000 to $3,660,000 for the design and reconstruction of the pool. We're recommending the council proceed with the reading by title only and passage of the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an amendment of the existing Westport Pools contract for the design and construction of the Pool Fairgrounds Park. Questions?
So the funding from this, we're hoping that it's going to come from the CARE money, correct?
Correct.
If it doesn't, how is that going to be split amongst the...
What we were looking at as we reviewed this was, because this increases the budget by $160,000, we are submitting a request to the county to receive the CARES funding. And I think the easiest way to explain this is for the disinfection system.
Right.
As we all know, a pool has to have a filtration system to filter the water and pull things out of it and so on. One of the things during the design period of this was that because of COVID, they brought back to us and said, you really should look at this UV system as a part of this, because then, and I don't understand all the chemistry of it, and Councilman Briggs, you'd probably love to go through it. To me, but it removes 30 parts per billion down to 1 part per billion and does this and this and that, but basically it disinfects the water to the point that it takes COVID and everything and kills it. So that we could have been operational, if it would have been built this year, we could have been operating, because it would have done what it needed to do by this UV system. So we wanted to make sure that system was in there. So we've asked the county, as part of the CARES funding, to reimburse us, because we went ahead and bought that system as a part of this. And that's $124,000 plus, a little bit in that range, and said that's a perfect use of that CARES money. And I've discussed that with them. We've given some information on that already. In fact, I discussed it with a couple of the legislature's aides and everything, and they said that's just a perfect use. So they think that's a good thing to do. So we're hoping that will be funded through that. And then we commented the additional funding we already have in the capital improvement fund as far as cash on hand. So we would look at that now. If that 124 doesn't come through, then we're going to have to look at equal splits, just like the whole project was.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's UV, isn't it UV light they're using too?
Ultraviolet, high-intensity ultraviolet. And then that Neptune Benson filter will filter water all the way down to 1 micron, which is small enough to catch a COVID particle. So
That's what sunburns you really good.
Yes.
So if it's
Yeah.
going to purify COVID, do we just go jump in once a week and we're COVID-free?
Unless you can get it deep into your lungs. I think this particular issue has been covered in the press, Chris.
Anybody else?
I move for first reading of bill number 2020-32.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded for passage, for the first reading, for the reading of Bill 2020-32. Can you take the roll?
Briggs,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Bill number 2020-32, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an amendment to the existing Westport Pools Incorporated contract for the pool at Fairground Park. I move for passage of bill number 2020-32.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for passage. Take the roll, please.
Briggs,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, good. The motion passes. Second item is about the pool also. It's Bill 2020-33, a resolution determining the intent of the City of Mexico to reimburse itself. So, Mr. Slagle, you have the floor again.
Yes. Now, we established original budget of the pool of $3.6 million, and that was $100,000, which would go towards administration, and $3.5 for the design and construction. And then, of course, we did the contract with Westport Pools. Now we've amended that this evening. And as again, we set this up for funding of this project to be 1/3 in cash from the project reserve, 1/3 from the parks, and of course, 1/3 from the passage of the use tax. And we said from the beginning, the money from the Parks and Recreation Fund as well as the use tax would be collected over time, and therefore we would need to borrow those portions. We expect to have that borrowing in place later this year. Part of it's about timing. In essence, we're going to be our own funding of the construction loan, so to speak. So we're going to use our own money up front and then not have to borrow this till later this year. And that way it'll give us a much clearer idea of the amount that we specifically need to borrow. And so if we go over any of that portion, this allows us to collect that back if we spend additional monies on our own. And so this resolution basically is saying that we intend to borrow, and we will reimburse ourselves that if we spend anything more than we should, basically, on what we're asking to borrow, and that the maximum proceeds that we would borrow would be $2.6 million. And again, we're making sure that's high enough, because we really think it's going to be $2.5 million is what we'll end up having to borrow. But we want to make sure that's high enough going in so that we don't overshoot that. And so at this time, we would recommend that you proceed with reading by title only and passage of the attached resolution in order to be able to make those expenditures.
Questions, comments? Okay, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to read bill number 2020-33.
I have a motion to read, did you?
Second.
Okay, and a second for bill number 2020-33. All those in favor, please, or take the,
roll call.
Roll call.
Briggs,
yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Bill number 2020-33, a resolution determining the intent of the City of Mexico, Missouri to reimburse itself for certain capital expenditures in connection with the renovation and improvement of the fairground pools. I move for passage of Bill 2020-33.
Second.
We have a motion to pass, and a second to pass bill number 2020-33. Marcy, would you take the roll, please?
Briggs,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, thank you all. Now I have appointments to various boards and commissions. Mr. Schlegel?
Yes, we have a number of them to do this evening, council. The first being the Planning and Zoning Commission. Dave Wilburn and Ron Whitaker's terms were up in June of 2020, in June. Both gentlemen have expressed interest in reappointment to the board. We have not received any other applications, so this is a city council appointment, and this would be for a 3-year term, if council wishes to reappoint those two to the board.
I make a motion to reappoint Dave Wilburn and Ron Whitaker to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 3-year term.
Second it.
Motion's been made to appoint Mr. Wilbur and Mr. Wicker to the Planning and Zoning Commission for 3-year terms. All those in favor? Marcy, would you take the roll, please?
Briggs,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, the next one is the Mexico Audrain County Library Board. Rosalind Dial's term expired June 2020. She is not interested in reappointment. You did receive an application from Jessica Johnson Ekron to serve on the library board, and this would be also for a 3-year term.
I move for appointment of Jessica Johnson Eckern to the Mexico Audrain County Library Board for a period of 3 years.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we appoint Jessica Johnson Ecken to a position on the County Library Board. All those in favor, would you call the roll, please?
Briggs,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, the next board is for the land clearance for redevelopment. Currently, there are 2 vacant positions. Martin Keller has expressed interest in serving on the board. We have not received any other applications, so council would wish to appoint Mr. Keller. I would recommend that he be appointed to a 4-year term, which would be for the term that actually begun at the 1st of June.
I make a motion to appoint Martin Keller to the 4-year term that began in June for the Land Clearance for Redevelopment Board.
Second.
Motion's been made to appoint Martin Keller to the Land Clearance for Redevelopment Board. All those in favor, Marcy, would you take the roll, please?
Briggs,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Park Board.
Okay, the Park Board, Sherry Chedwick, Jennifer Nixon, Colette Kemp's terms expired. Mrs. Chedwick, Mrs. Kemp would like to be reappointed. We also did receive 2 other applicants, this to express for the other position. This is a city manager appointment, so I would recommend that we reappoint Ms. Chedwick and Ms. Kemp, and then appoint Cole Hildebrandt to the board, and I would ask that the council concur with my appointment. And this would also be for a 3-year term.
I make a motion to appoint Cole Hildebrand in concurrence with the city manager for the Mexico Park Board.
Second.
At least, I didn't.
you need to make a motion to appoint all of them.
Yeah, all 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay. I need to make a motion to appoint Sherry Chedwick and Jennifer Nixon.
No.
Mr. Kemp, Ms. Kemp,
Yeah.
Colette Kemp, Ms. Chedwick, and Cole Hildebrand to the Mexico Park Board.
you.
Second.
Sorry.
In favor, or, excuse me, do I have a second? I have a second.
Mr. Hay,
Call it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we have those people appointed to the Park Board. Take roll, please.
Briggs,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes. I move we pay the claims.
Second.
Moved and seconded to pay the claims. All those in favor, Marcy, take,
Briggs,
yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. And we go to comments and council members, and Steve, you want to start?
Last night had a graduation, so that was good to see. I think it was the fastest graduation in Mexico history. We got down to just the names, of course, because of the COVID. But I think the school and I think the people attending did a good job of keeping space and trying to stay safe there. I think since our last meeting, we had our little meeting at Garfield, and I think that went well. And so I was happy to see the people that turned out there and talked over what, was happening at Garfield. And I think that the 4th of July was good. I know they were shooting some fireworks off in town in celebration of our law enforcement that do a great job. So unfortunately, the law enforcement had to chase some of them down, but I think it was a good 4th of July, and I think it was safe. So that's about it for me.
Chris?
Just like to say congratulations to all our new seniors from the high school. I wish them well on their future endeavors. The 4th of July was eventful with all the fireworks, but nobody got hurt that I know of, so, that makes it good.
We did.
One with a hand?
Oh, one. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
I think somebody messed up their hand pretty good.
Well, take that as a lesson to be careful with fireworks. I'd also like to, again, with the pool renovation, thank the public for their support of the use tax. And also, if you noticed, we're going to use $3.6 million, but we only plan on probably borrowing about $2.5 million. That's because we knew this was coming, and I think it just shows that as a city, we're trying to look ahead, and that's the best you can do nowadays, is try and look ahead and prepare and think of all the interest money that's going to save. $1 million going to save a lot of interest over the years of these loans. So I appreciate everybody in the council working to make that happen in the city. So that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
Well, I go along with what Chris is saying there. It was a great day, the day we had our groundbreaking. It was hot, but it was good that it got started. And I know today the track hole got in there and whacked around on some stuff.
Are you watching it?
I watched just a minute of it, but that was, pretty interesting. And we have to thank the people of Mexico for supporting the pool. And Chris, you're absolutely correct that as a council, we've been saving for the last 5 years to have our $1 million set aside. And I think it just shows the responsibility the council has had in all of its fund projects, all the budgets we have a fund balance in those that we are carrying over from year to year. I think that just shows good thoughtfulness on our part as a council and as a city to not always be having to borrow money when something small happens that you need to buy something in a hurry. We're prepared. So great to have a pool, great to have $1 million for a starting point on it.
Thank you. Well, I want to say congratulations to all the graduates. I'm sure they were glad to get those diplomas and have their graduation. I went over and watched some of the pool. It was kind of fun to watch that big machine. I know people were stopping with their little kids and watching it, but that big machine, and I don't know, did you see it, what they were doing? They had this big ball on the, I thought that guy, I would not do that all day, but dropping that ball on the bottom of that pool, breaking up the bottom of that old pool. So, but anyway, it's really exciting to look forward. I'm waiting to see what they do next on it. So, with that, we will take our public comments. You have 3 minutes. When you have to get up, state your name. Does anybody want to do that? Okay, with nobody interested, could I have a motion to adjourn to executive session, please?
Make a motion to adjourn to executive session.
You have to read the whole thing.
Yep. If pursuant to revised statute of Missouri 610-021 litigation.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, Marcy, would you read it, please?
Rick,
Yes.
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned. We'll clear the room and then we will adjourn to executive session.